Okay, what's happening, guys? I just want to talk about why I think weightlifting is the best way, in my opinion, to build your ideal physique. Okay, and for most people, that ideal physique is that toned, lean look. Okay, so to break it down for you, to have a toned, lean look, first of all, if you want toned muscle, you need muscle. Okay. Most of your favorite celebrities, they may have the physique that you would want to have one day. Just because they're not huge, like those performance enhancing drug users, it doesn't mean that they don't have muscle. They do. You'll be surprised how much work has been put into building that body. So I'm not saying that weightlifting is the only way to go, but I am saying that, in my opinion, it is the most effective and efficient way to go. So to build that kind of body, you can't just do some 30-day challenge or something. It takes more than that. Okay, and it takes a very structured and proper training with one key principle called progressive overload. Progressive overload is the simple way of saying as your body adapts to a certain difficulty, you progressively load it with a more difficult stimulus. So it basically means improvement over time. So don't expect to go to do some HIIT workout, F45 or Orange Theory, nothing against those kind of workout again. But if you aren't putting some kind of progressive overload backbone in that workout, then you're not really going to change your physique much. Maybe from absolutely doing nothing to some workout. Yeah, that by itself is a progressive overload, but beyond that you're gonna need more than just moving around. So if you don't have a progressive overload backbone in your HIIT workout or whatever other workout you're doing, you're not gonna build that ideal physique that you see celebrities have, because it takes a lot more than that. So if you're just going to the gym, just breaking a sweat, thinking that I destroyed my muscle, I feel sore, I feel tired, you think that's effective, then you're wrong, because that's just arbitrarily walking around, arbitrarily moving around. Sorry, not walking around. So make sure that if you're doing those kind of workouts, that you're either increasing the weight, decreasing your rest time, or doing it more intensely, changing to a more challenging movement, something. Okay. So back to why I think weightlifting is the most ideal, is that you can be a lot more objective with your progressive overload backbone. Because literally, there are numbers on the weights. So if you can lift 135 pounds, let's say 135 pounds of bench press, and then 2 weeks later you can push 145, that's a 10-pound difference. You know that there is a 10-pound strength gain. But if you were to do a push-up, okay, let's say you can only do a knee down push-up, and then now you're doing a full body push-up, well, by exactly how much or how many percent is the full body push-up more difficult than the knee down? You don't know. And another thing is that with weights, you can progress more gradually. So you can go as low as a 1.25 pound difference. But like something like a push-up could be more difficult, because let's say you don't have any other equipment. Maybe you can put your hand on the couch or something. But let's say you're doing a knee down push-up, and then you can easily rock out like, let's say 15 reps, and you want to increase the difficulty. And then you realize that if you were to do a full body, but with your hand on the couch kind of push-up, for example, you realize that you can't even do 2. So that's not exactly a baby step, right? That's like a huge jump. Whereas in weight training, you can increase your weights by baby steps, like 1.25 pounds or 2.5 pounds or 5 pound increase. So you can make sure that you can apply progressive overload onto your workout, your stimulus. So I think, reviewing, one is you can be objective with your changes in your difficulty, your growth. 2 is that you can apply baby steps. And the last one, I forgot what my last. The last point is that with kind of bodybuilding style, weightlifting style of workouts, there are ways that you can target certain muscles. So you can kind of sculpt your body into the perfect ratio that you like. But if you're doing other kinds of workout, chances are they're like more full body, they're less targeted. Like they're more compound, they're more full body. Yeah, there are benefits to that, but if your goal is to build that body with a specific ratio, like for example, what if I just want to build wider shoulders? Because I think that, with my waist, if I build a wider shoulder, then I get to my ideal shoulder to waist ratio. Or maybe, for women, they have a certain circumference for their waist, and that they just want to increase the hip size without gaining like too much leg size, for example. Well, you're gonna need some kind of isolation workout for that, and weight training allows that to happen. Weight training allows you to sculpt the muscles in a specific way, so that it's more like targeted. So imagine you're a sculptor and you're using kind of like a fine sculpting tool rather than like a huge like sledgehammer trying to build a physique. Like obviously the little fine tool is gonna build a more finer, more friendly to building a specific ratio. Alright, so that's what I think about weight training, and why weight training is, in my opinion, the ideal way to build an amazing physique. Alright, peace out.